Hello. Hi guys. It's still snowing here. It snowed all day Sunday. Like most of yesterday overnight. We got like another 3 to 4 inches overnight, and then it's like still snowing right now. It's like a snow globe outside. It's so fun. Um and my daughter, my 2-year-old daughter, Margot, just started, her daycare just opened until 3 p.m. So it's the first time in like almost a year we've had her at daycare, like out of the house daycare for more than 3 hours a day. So it's a really exciting week for me I'm like doubling my work hours. I'm doubling my childcare. So I'm so excited. And the other thing is when I set these up for 9:30 on Tuesdays, I did that because I only had 3 hours, but now I'm wondering if now that I have 6 hours on Tuesday, maybe like a 10 or a 10:30 would work better for you guys. So let me know in the comments what time works better for you. But yeah, I'm just really excited to get into this. Also, like I need to do like a better setup because my tripod like doesn't come any lower than this, so it's like kind of at a funny angle. Anyway, okay. Hi. Let's kind of get started with like what even does intuitive marketing mean? And I wanted to start off with the definition of intuitive, which is using or based on what one feels to be true without conscious reasoning, instinctive. So what intuitive marketing means to me is like, yes, there are lots of marketing experts. There are lots of marketing books. There are lots of marketing strategies. There are lots of marketing tactics. There are lots of marketing channels. It's a lot, right? And so the way that I have kind of always marketed my business without really even knowing it is like, I'm going to put the effort into what feels good. What makes it really fun for me to market my business, because that's where the connection is made with people, with customers, especially in a service industry, right? So I started my business as a wedding photographer. I am still technically in a service business, right, as a coach. And so making connections with people is what makes me money. In the beginning, in wedding photography, making connection with people is what made me money. And so I'm the same now, right? So intuitive marketing is really just what feels good. What is going to feel good so that I can make a connection with my audience, with my dream clients, because that's what's going to sell people. What is not going to sell people is you copy and pasting this person's marketing strategy just because they have found success. That probably works really well for them, right? But it might not work well for you. So I think it's important to try things on for size. Try different marketing strategies to see what feels good, what excites you. That is the key to intuitive marketing, because when we lead from the heart, when we lead from a place of good feelings, of passion, that's where we are going to make those connections, and that's where we are going to create relationships and have like lifetime customers, right? So most of my brides have hired me when they got pregnant for maternity and newborn photos. It's got to be like, I'll have to do a percentage, but most of the brides I've shot their weddings reach back out to me to do family photos, maternity photos. Why, right? Why do they become a repeat customer? Because there is a personal connection. I made a personal connection with them that makes them want to hire me to keep celebrating their life's biggest moments, which is like literally my dream. It's the dream, right? And so when you are practicing intuitive marketing, you are always leading with that. How can I connect with people? How can I show my heart? How can I lead with my heart? How can I lead with my passion, so that I make that connection with somebody who wants to keep coming back, who wants to keep buying my offers? And so I think specifically with Instagram, it is so overwhelming. There are like a gazillion different ways to market on Instagram. Gazillions. And so what I want to help you guys do today is simplify and figure out like what feels good to you. So I think one of the biggest things that I hear from people is caption writing. They struggle with what to say, they struggle to write captions. And so I want to go through some caption writing tips for you. It's also like the bulk of my intentional Instagram course is all about caption writing, and all of my students say that that is their favorite module. So let's go through some caption writing tips. Okay, so you might have heard me say this before if you're a podcast listener. The most important rule of Instagram marketing, and especially intuitive marketing, is going to be creating content before you consume it. Which means, here's where this comes in, and this is why this is so key and so important. If you are constantly consuming other people's Instagram content, you're probably, without even meaning it, going to copy what everybody else is doing. And then you're going to do that and it's going to feel like, ugh, like it's just going to not feel great because you're putting somebody else's content on and it doesn't feel right. And that's why it doesn't work. When you're putting out posts on Instagram and you're like, that was an okay post, that's exactly how your audience is going to feel about it. It's kind of a hard truth to swallow, but if you don't feel excited about what you are posting to Instagram, no one else is going to be excited about it. So what I want you to do is when you're writing Instagram content, and I think there are two ways to do it, right? You can write your post in the beginning of the day. You can pre-plan content. Whatever you do, make sure that you are not consuming posts on Instagram before you are creating your own posts. So don't open the app. Get into what I like to do is write captions first. I even liked doing this with my wedding photography. I liked to write a caption first and then find an image because that let me really like lead with my heart, my passion, be able to make that connection, and then find an image that portrayed that essentially. And then if you don't want to pre-plan a bunch of content every single morning or maybe 3 times a week, you wake up in the morning and you tap into what feels good to say and market that day, and you don't consume any Instagram posts before you do that. So I wanted to give you some like actual tactics to what this means and give you some actual caption prompts, which I'll make a post in the group with these so you can copy and paste them and put them in like a Google Doc. That's what I do. I have like a bunch of different prompts in a Google Doc that I just pull from. So the first few prompts I want to walk you through are customer centric. This is a really big miss, I think, especially in small business, is that I see a lot of people who are just like, I in their Instagram marketing, when what you really want to do is you really want and of course that is relevant in some places, but you want to have this balance of this is what I do, this is what I feel passionate about, and this is where you are, this is how I can help you, this is the value that I offer you. So I think one of the things you can do with customer-centric marketing on Instagram is if you find yourself writing a post, try replacing I with you so that you are painting this picture for your customer, for your dream customer, right? So here are some customer-centric caption prompts. What does my dream client need to hear today? Like in this moment, okay? So if you're a coach, let's see, if you're a coach and it's the beginning of February, people probably were like writing a bunch of goals and they might feel a little bit defeated after January. They might feel like I didn't get as far as I wanted in January, right? So maybe this week is a great time to tell those customers that like, it's okay. You don't have to go fast. There's plenty of time. It's literally only the second day of the second month of 2021. If you are in the wedding industry, we are like right at the end of proposal season. So proposal season kind of fizzles out after Valentine's Day. So, I mean, posting something about engagement, posting like a photo of a beautiful engagement ring, I think that's a really like timely thing to post about, right? What might my dream client be struggling with and how can I help them? This is similar, but it goes a little bit deeper. So not only is it like acknowledging the struggle, right? It's like, how can you actually help them fix it, right? If somebody knows they're getting engaged soon, they definitely are going to want photos. Or maybe it's like you have a blog post. I had a blog post that was like 8 things to do right after you get engaged, right? If you're in the wedding industry, I know I have a lot of people in the wedding industry in my audience. And so that content is going to be really valuable for them. It's going to help them answer a question that they might have in their head. And then, yeah, where can I add unexpected value in my customer's life? So, like, do you have any great freebies, or maybe it's like a really great meditation that you did this morning. That is just this surprise and delight, unexpected value that you can add. That just feels really good, right? Like if you make a coffee or you make a smoothie that like made you really happy or was really exciting for you, like these are good things to post about. These things make connections with people because they can feel your excitement and your heart and your passion through that. And it adds surprise and delight value, right? Like they might be bored of their breakfast. And it sounds so silly and simple, but it really goes far in making those connections and making people remember you. Okay. And again, I will put these prompts in a post so that they're like really easy to copy and paste. The next thing I want to talk about in writing captions is speaking your truth and having a point of view, which I think can be really, really scary. It even scares me. I feel like I am continually pulling back a layer so that my like truest, most authentic self is coming through with that point of view. But you only get better with practice. Hi, Eliza. Good morning. So what is your point of view? You know, again, I'll use my wedding photography business as an example, but like one of my points of view for wedding photography was imperfect moments of joy over perfectly styled details. I had that language everywhere. It was in the first email people got from me. It was right on my website because for me, my dream client was somebody who wanted like the big, just the big messy moments of realness on their day versus like I did not do highly stylized invitation detail. That's just like, it's not where my passion is. And so there are plenty of amazing photographers who do insane flat lays of invitations. And I was not that person, right? So really having a distinct point of view will help you attract your dream client, will help you make those connections. And I'll talk a little bit more down the line about like attract and repel marketing, but it is really, really important, especially if you are positioned in a saturated market like wedding photography. And just think about like, how can you create space to speak your truth while letting go of the expectations of others, which is so much easier said than done, right? But like, that is where you are going to differentiate yourself. That is where you are going to come across as really unique, is when you can really speak this truth, whatever it is to you, without any expectations of the outside world. Doesn't matter if it gets likes. It doesn't matter if it gets comments. It doesn't matter if people don't like it. It doesn't matter. As long as you are there, like speaking your true point of view, it will benefit you and it will benefit your audience, your community, your customers. So think about what you might need to tap into that. Like, you know, do you need a workout before that? Do you need journaling? Do you need meditation? Do you need like a really nutritious meal? What do you need so that you can really sit and think about what your specific point of view is and just create that space for yourself? What stories can I tell? Right? Like what stories can you tell where you'd be able to help your dream client like make a breakthrough, or identify with their struggle. I can tell you that like a really big connection piece for me is like not feeling alone, right? So I think it can be hard at first to recognize when to pull stories out of yourself. But the more time that you sit with it and say, what stories can I tell? What things have I overcome that I feel safe talking about? Because I think there are things that you have overcome that you might not feel safe speaking publicly about. And that's really important to identify, right? So you want to figure out, what are the stories I can tell of when I push through difficulty. And also the other thing is like, stories don't have to be serious and profound. Stories can be lighthearted and funny and ridiculous too, right? Like yesterday I posted like my daughter eating an apple on Instagram stories, and it connected with so many people. It like blew up. It was funny, like it was frustrating, but like you have to make humor out of living with a toddler because otherwise you just won't survive. But what are those stories that like, they can be funny, but just what are those stories that will make people feel not alone, that will inspire people that, you know, somebody else might be struggling with? It's just like that feeling of not being alone is such a huge connection piece. Okay, let's get into like attract and repel marketing, because I think it's really important. And I think a lot of people kind of waste some time, including me. I have done this. I have literally wasted time being like, I want to be for everyone. And that just doesn't work. Unless you are like, I don't know, like you sell tennis, like you sell something that is like really cheap and like tennis balls. Like, yes, you can sell tennis balls to anyone, right? But most of us with a small business, we need to have that unique point of view. We need to figure out, and sometimes what's easier is, what is my dream client not? Who is this person? Can I create this person that is definitely the opposite of my dream client? Because that kind of can help you bring to light, like, okay, these are the people that I want to go after, because I know these are the people I don't want to serve, but that's not the right. These are the people that I just don't connect with, right? That there's another person out there that can connect with them better and can help them better, right? And so attract and repel marketing is huge. And being really loud about that is also scary, but it's also a really big deal. And it will, like, I had one client in my 3-4 years of wedding photography that was not a dream client. Literally every single couple I served and shot their wedding, every single one was a dream client. I loved them. Like, it was just a dream match because I was so specific on who I served and who I did not. And so it's really powerful to just, again, come back to that point of view. What is your point of view that will connect with some people and not? So defining what your client is not is also a really great declaration to make in your marketing. Like I said, the example of my clients value imperfect moments of joy over perfectly styled details. So that was like, and again, was in the first email that I sent to clients. It's on the front page of my website, my photography website. So make that declaration, because that is going to save you time and stress on working with clients who want the other thing, right? Clients who want this like amazing detail shots of tablescapes and wedding stationery, which is like, I get that stuff, but I spend maybe 15 to 30 minutes max on all of that stuff, because it's just not what lights me up. It's not what is meaningful to me. And there are literally a zillion photographers who, they love that. That's like their favorite part of the wedding day. So really figuring out who your client isn't is just as important as finding what they are. Okay. You guys talking makes me really thirsty. Sorry. Okay, this one is one of my favorite ones, and I have this on my list. And this one is like personal, right? So like, what does the next level need to hear right now? Or you can kind of think about it as like, what do I need to embody? What do I need to hear right now in order to level up? Because I guarantee you, if you share that, if you can dig into that, there is somebody else who is in that exact same spot, who can make that connection. And again, feel less alone, right? So those are the prompts that I wanted to give you guys, and I think spend some time on them. These are like things you need to dig at. They're also, what I like about these prompts is like every day there might be a different answer. You might have a different thing that you are focusing on, right? So I will post these in a post. Sorry, I keep getting an Amazon notification. It's really annoying. I will post the prompts in the Facebook group. And then what I also want to talk to you guys about is Instagram stories, because this is the most underused, easiest way to market your business, because literally all you have to do on Instagram stories is like share things you love. That's the marketing strategy. Share the things that you love. Share the things that like light you up, that make you excited, that make you laugh. You can, I think that like sharing posts as like the little send button, the share post is great, but I don't think that is great. And I think a lot of people like resonate with those. However, I do think it's important to write something there so that you are like having that point of view, right? So that you can make a connection with a potential client, with a dream client. It's really just sharing what you love. I can't even tell you the engagement on my Instagram stories when I'm sharing stuff that excites me, when I'm sharing stuff that I love, it like almost triples, right? Like when I am pushing and promoting like offers and promotions, which is essential, right? You still need to do that. Those don't get as much engagement as things that where I'm just sharing what I love. Like sharing the like lavender honey latte I was making last week, like so much engagement, so many DMs, right? And so this is like the easiest, most underused marketing tool on Instagram right now. Like people want to make that connection with you. So literally I just challenge you, and I challenged a couple of my one-to-one coaching clients last week, post a minimum of 10 Instagram stories a day. Push yourself 10, and then it's also kind of going to be a mood lifter for you, right? Because like, can you find 10 things that make you happy today? Can you find 10 things that like bring you joy, make you laugh, just like lift your mood? Share all of that stuff. Instagram stories don't need filters, doesn't need to look perfect, it doesn't need to look pretty, it just needs to be, I honestly think like the more real the better, right? Like the post, if you go to my Instagram right now, like I posted like my disaster living room after having Margot home with me all day yesterday. So many people, so it's like probably one of my most engaging things I've posted in like a week, just because so many moms, especially moms of toddlers, felt not alone, right? And it wasn't perfect. I had no filter on it. So just be playful with that. And I just think that you'll find that like when you are showcasing what you love, when you're showcasing your joy, you are just going to like almost magically attract your dream clients who also like all of those things. With Instagram stories, just have fun with it. Again, intuitive marketing, whatever feels good, whatever feels exciting, whatever feels joyful, I promise you that's going to be so much more impactful than like following Susie Instagram marketer's strategy, right? Or maybe Susie's does work for you and that feels good and that feels exciting for you and you keep doing that. But like, you've got to figure out like what feels really good, because otherwise you're constantly going to be burnt out of marketing, especially on Instagram. I think Instagram is probably the most tolling place to market, because you just have to be careful of your consumption, right? If you hopped on later, my biggest number one advice for more intuitive marketing is creating more than you consume. Consume less. If you are feeling stressed and anxious about marketing your business, you have to pull back on screen time. You have to pull back on consumption. And when you pull back there, you will find that like all of a sudden you have these like sparks of inspiration that feel exciting and good. As far as I know, everyone always has questions on hashtags, so I wanted to cover hashtags a little bit here. Don't stress about hashtags, okay? Hashtags work the best for me when they are relevant to the actual post. So here's the thing. If I don't have time to research like 15 to 30 relevant hashtags, then I just don't post them. The lift that I think that hashtags are really, really powerful if you are advertising like a local market. So like Virginia wedding photographer, those hashtags are really powerful and you should definitely use them if you are marketing to like a local or even a regional market. Those are really helpful, that and geotagging your posts. But like if you are marketing to the online space like I am with coaching, right? Like hashtags they can't hurt, right? And so my hashtag strategy right now is, can I find relevant hashtags that have at least 10K impressions? If I don't have time for that, then I don't do them. And honestly, I find very little difference in engagement when I post hashtags and when I don't. So again, try that on for size if that feels good. I think there are like some important tactics as far as the algorithm. Like I do remember if you post the same exact 30 hashtags over and over again, you can get tagged as spam. So avoid that. But otherwise, yeah, just figure out what feels good. And yeah, guys, let me know if you have any questions. I was talking recently to one of my private coaching clients as well, with Reels. And my advice is the same to anyone. If Reels are really exciting to you, do them, because those are definitely the number one way to get organic growth on Instagram right now, because there are no ads in Reels yet. So take advantage of that. If making those Reels is really fun for you, if that's exciting for you, do it. It is like a huge thing for organic growth right now. If it feels like a drag and you just dread it, I think there's a difference between being afraid of going out of your comfort zone and just like dreading a thing, right? So try and figure out, like, am I just scared to go out of my comfort zone, but I would really like to try it, but it's a little bit scary? Then I would push you to do it. If it's just like dread, I want nothing to do with it, I've tried it and hated it, try it. If you really hate it, don't do it. But I would at least try it, give it a try. I know now that I have more time with more childcare, I'm definitely going to be getting into Reels, because they do take a lot of time to figure out in the beginning. I just didn't have the time. Anyway, let me know any questions on intuitive marketing on Instagram. I will post those caption prompts for you guys in the group so you can copy and paste them and have them in a Google Doc. And next week, pretty sure next week is website, which is one of my favorite things to talk about. I'm going to desperately try to figure out how to do a Facebook Live on my desktop, which I have not figured out yet for whatever reason, so that I can screen share with you guys to go through my website and some other websites. But next week is websites, which is huge. It is so important that the space that you own on the internet is so clear in what you do, is so clear in what you don't do. So I am so excited to go through that with you guys next week. And as you guys are, I'm going to leave this up for 1 week. So this will be taken down right before the website training. So Let me know any questions this week as you're watching. And yeah, can't wait to see you guys next week. I hope you have a great day.